Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates and my first 4K video, because in this video I will be talking about the new 4K60 capture card by Elgato Gaming. But before I get into the details of this new capture card, I just wanted to give you a brief recap of what Elgato Gaming does and how I work with them, because I'm sure there's a lot of new people on my channel who might not have followed since I become partnered with them. I've actually been sponsored by Elgato Gaming for 1.5 years now, and I just want to say how much I appreciate their support, because it's not very often you can be sponsored and do videos for a company that you genuinely use products from. I mean, I use Elgato's capture cards to stream and record videos way before I got partnered with them, which makes it so much better actually promoting something that you genuinely enjoy and use. So what does Elgato Gaming do? From the start, their main product was capture cards. And these capture cards are something you can use to record or stream gameplay from PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 or pretty much any platform. And it's very simple. You plug in the HDMI from your console or PC into one end, and then you plug another HDMI cable to your monitor. And if it's an external card, you plug the USB into your PC, and if it's an internal card, well, then it's already in your PC. And then the gameplay goes through the capture card and you will still see it at your monitor with no delay, but the actual capture card then saves or streams the gameplay depending on what you want to do with it. But last year they also expanded into a lot of other products, such as a really neat green screen, a cam link that can make almost any camera work as a web camera, and of course this Stream Deck, a product that I use during every single live stream, and I also made a review on it last year, so I will link that in the description below in case you haven't seen it. So the newest internal card they released was the 4K60 capture card, which they were very kind to send me, and in return I am making this video. The main issue before this card arrives was that even if you might not be interested in streaming or recording 4K gameplay, you might still want to play in that resolution, such as on your PlayStation 4 Pro or your Xbox One X, or of course on your PC. And the problem with the previous capture cards was that they didn't allow 4K pass-through, which meant that if you wanted to play in 4K, well, you couldn't record in 1080p with a capture card, but with the new one you can. And this also goes for higher refresh rate, so if you play 1080p with 144Hz, you can also do that, which is something I do. I tend to play in 1080p most of the time to get as high frame rate as possible and use 144Hz, and now that can go through my 4K60 capture card, but I can still record it at a lower frame rate, which is perfect for me. As you can see right here, I am switching out my previous card, which was the HD60Pro, the previous internal version in my streaming PC. And it was very simple. You basically just plug it out and then plug in the new one, download some new drivers, and that was it. It worked flawlessly right away, which was very nice. And that's something that tends to be across all their products. They're mostly just plug in and play. All you need to do is download the drivers or the potential software, and it works right away. So the HD60Pro, or actually now the 4K60Pro, is the capture card that I use when I livestream. I play on my gaming PC, I then transfer that gameplay over to my streaming PC into my capture card, and that then streams it out to the world. And when we're talking about the actual streaming or recording, you can use either their own capture software or you can use something like OBS. That's all up to you. I like to use their software for recording, but OBS for streaming because I'm more comfortable with it. But that's something you can elaborate with yourself. So you might be wondering, do you need a 4K capture card? Well, that all depends on what you're aiming for. Obviously, if you want to record 4K, especially from consoles, the 4K60Pro is the best option by far, because before they released that, the only 4K capture cards available on the market were pretty much double the price of the 4K60Pro. So for people who actually want to record 4K footage, this was a very good product release, as it saved you a lot of money and you get Elgato's quality. But if you're just looking to capture gameplay overall, any other capture cards could work. And external or internal capture card all depends on what PC or Mac you will be recording from. Because if you have a desktop like me, you might as well have one of the two internal capture cards, but if you're recording to a laptop, you might want an external one. I actually have both, because if I go out to a capture event, it's very handy to just have one of the external cards, either an HD60S or an HD60, whereas when I'm at home, it's nicer to have the internal cards instead. But that might be a little bit overkill if you're just starting. You don't need to have multiple capture cards, but they do actually have a very good guide on their website where you can simply fill out your goal with your content creation and they will recommend a card for you. And I also want to remind you that if you have watched my top 5 play series, you know that I do a monthly giveaway of these capture cards, the HD60 external capture card to be more specific. So if you're interested in winning that capture card, I will leave a link to that giveaway in the description below. So in short, I'm very glad to have the 4K60 Pro because it means I no longer have to limit what I play with. Even if I don't want to stream 4K because that takes a lot of CPU power, I might still want to play in 4K or 144Hz while I stream in 1080p, and the 4K60 Pro can do exactly that. And it's also very nice to be able to record some crisp 4K gameplay as well, so I might do that a bit more often when it comes to like visual stuff, like showing off new DLCs or characters or mods and things like that, whereas a normal news video there's no point in going over 1080p in my opinion. But if you have any questions at all about Elgato, feel free to leave a comment below and I will answer as many as I can. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the force be with you.